everyone. Welcome to part one of four of my financial freedom series. That's all about, living the life you want to live, whether you want to travel like me or whatever it is you want to do. So, this is all about today. I should say it's all about how I saved up enough money to quit my job and travel the world. So, I have a set agenda of stuff I want to cover today, but be sure to leave comments as I'm going along. I will pause to answer any questions you have. Even if it's not about saving, I will be going live for the rest of the week up until Friday. So if I don't get to it today, I'll get to it later on in the week. Do me a favor, share this video if you are watching this we're all watching on YouTube because I have to keep remembering I took off the option to stream on Facebook because I want streams to come to my YouTube channel because one of my goals is to monetize YouTube by April 1st. So share this on Facebook to your Facebook feed if you know people are trying to get their money together because it could be beneficial to them. And like the video as you're coming into the live, even if you're watching on the replay, like the video, say hi to me in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling about this financial freedom series. Does talking about money make you nervous? Like drop an emoji if you're feeling happy about talking about money. I'm the one talking, you're listening, but hearing about it could create some nervousness in people. So let me know how you're feeling about that by dropping an emoji or just writing the words in the chat. And without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. Um, I'm seeing some chats in here. Y'all are so funny. Um, I like when people get in the comments and start talking to each other about things. Now, first things first is disclaimer: I am a licensed certified public accountant in Michigan. However, this live is for educational purposes only. This is not for you to take as a one-on-one consultation or for any specific advice to you or your financial needs. It's for educational purposes only. You need to consult your own CPA in your town, wherever you at. It's not me. So that is my first disclaimer. Well, only disclaimer for today. And what I want to get into right now is how I actually saved. As you're coming into the chat, say hi, hit that like button, let me know where you're watching from. It's morning for me. I forgot to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am currently in Asia and I'm 12 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So it's morning for me. It's bright and early. That's why I look like I got the morning face because I just woke up. I did. All right. So world travel savings categories. So once I made up in my mind I was going to do this for real, I had to get serious about my numbers. And this is how I got serious. First thing I looked into was how much was it going to cost me per month to live in the places that I want to travel to. So on this screen, I am showing like a loose itinerary over to the right for me on the screen where you see the picture of me and the suitcases. That was my loose itinerary that I put together before I left. So in these countries, I looked up the average cost of Airbnb, went to Airbnb app, selected the months I thought that I would be there to gauge how much it would cost for me to stay in an Airbnb. The second thing on here is flights, trains, and buses. I've seen people coming into the live, so make sure you hit that like button um, between the different countries that I was visiting. So I had lodging first, which I did for 12 months, y'all. So my budget I set for lodging was $1,500 max a month, and I definitely blew that budget. If you get my travel diaries, my newsletters, you know I'm significantly over budget right now. But the plan was when I was looking at these numbers, this was we're in 2023, right? I left in 2022. So 2021, end of 2020 and all of 2021, I was pricing out lodging. When 2022 happened, when I actually left, the prices skyrocketed. So that's why I became over budget with lodging. But flights, trains, and buses, I put this itinerary up so you can see like my mindset on coming up with the numbers because I was following a line. Like when I started in Europe, I was saying West Europe over to East Europe to go to Africa, Africa to Asia, but I ended up going back home. Not back to Detroit, but I was in the US and I just left a few days ago. But this route was set up for me to be able to see if I could take a train to save money, a bus to save money between countries or different cities and countries that I was visiting. So I got really detailed on my numbers. And I want to get to the methods I did to actually save up to this number that I came up with in a minute. But I first wanted to go over with how I came up with the numbers themselves. And I put food as number three, but really it was medical insurance that I had budgeted out for. So I do have pre-existing medical conditions. So having medical insurance is very important to me. Once I quit my job, I knew that I wasn't going to be covered anymore. Now I could do Cobra, but I wasn't going to be in the US anymore. So having Cobra really didn't make sense for me. Cobra covers you to have the same medical insurance you have by your employer, but you pay it out of pocket to cover you, I think, up to a year. But that's only in the US. So I knew I was going to be gone for a long period of time. So I was pricing out medical insurance, travel medical insurance. That's actually a thing where you can pay a monthly premium to be able to see a doctor, dentist, whatever you need for preventative care, not just when an emergency happens. Unfortunately, I got denied from every medical insurance company for preventative care, but I do have coverage for emergency care. If I were to get sick or whatever, I am covered to see a local doctor, go to the hospital for treatment, and things of that nature. But the medical insurance coverage, because I had pre-existing condition, would have been about $300 to $400 a month. But the reason why it was so high for me was because of the pre-existing conditions. And it covered me if I came back to the US for 3 months. So I know that I want to come back and visit after my year is over. Well, I came back just a few weeks ago, but to have coverage in the USA for the annual travel medical plans was very expensive. So then I looked into food and my activities that I wanted to do while I was there. So that's how I came up with my budget, y'all. So I times these numbers monthly times 12, and that's how I came up with my number. My number, if you know me, I always say that I am not going to share my number, how much I save, because I feel like it's not relevant to your situation. If you are saving to travel the world, my number is going to look different. Like I said, I have medical conditions. I may want to stay in certain type of places. I actually did stay in hostels as well as Airbnb. So you may not even have that or as an option for you. So the next thing is the method. So my 5-step method. So these are the things I'm going to actually go in depth with a lot today. First and foremost, the scavenger hunt I did. Automation is key. No access, no access, Roth IRA, and tax savings. So I put that disclaimer out there because I will be talking about investing in taxes toward the end of this. So the more questions you ask, the longer we will be on. This probably will take me just a half hour to get through. So as I'm going through, drop your questions, and I will eventually um, get to them. All right, let me go back. I went the wrong way. So scavenger hunt. If you have children during this lockdown that we had a couple years ago that we're doing virtual, you know all about a scavenger hunt. That I love that. I actually work with youth and I did some virtual sessions teaching them about money, and we did scavenger hunts. My mom works with children, and whenever I would go visit her, they was doing scavenger hunts all the time. Now it's time for you to do one. Like literally, if you were watching on your phone, I'm gonna go over some stuff I need you to get up and do. My scavenger hunt was all about me um, going to an area in my house and figuring out where all my money was going. Like, where do I spend the most money? Is it in my closet? Is it in the bathroom with makeup um, and hair products or wigs? Because if you know, I love me a good half wig. Not ashamed to say it. Or my kitchen. I love food. So where was most of my money going? And when I coach clients, I always ask them like, "Where's your money going?" They don't really know. They have an idea. I like to do it both ways to actually see the numbers. But looking at numbers right off the bat makes people nervous. So the scavenger hunt is one way to do it. What area is cluttered with stuff that has tags on it? So if you're watching on your cell phone right now, walk around your house. If you are at home, what area you know you spend the most money in? And just look and see what you bought recently. Um, and why are you buying all these things if you don't need them? So the science to this whole live, this is long. It was slow and steady wins the race. This live is not going to tell you all these gimmicky things that you can do and uh send money to one person, get it back. That's a scam. That is a Ponzi scheme. I'm not on no Bernie Madoff stuff here. This is real process and how I did it, right? So again, back to the scavenger hunt. I knew that I like to shop. Now, this is something that I kind of grew into after I paid off all my debt. And I had more disposable income. And the more I traveled, the more clothes I bought. So before I was going anywhere, I'm like, I don't care. If I wear the same stuff or whatever, when I would go out, throughout Michigan, I would want to look cute for certain days or certain things. But overall, I'm like, y'all gonna get these same clothes that I've been wearing. Um, so I was seeing some comments and saying shoes. But yeah, where is it? If you have children, you may say, it's I don't need to get up, it's in their room. I spend the most money on them. Okay. I'm gonna get to that in a moment. But back to my story. I I literally did walk around the house. I had a feeling it was closed, natural hair. I wear my hair in twist outs and afros sometime, like just natural, wash my hair and go. And those products can be expensive. Black women spend the most money on hair care products. It is a fact. If you Google it, out of all the races, ethnicity groups, whatever you want to call it, Black women spend the most on hair care. And I would buy different stuff because I'm like, oh, my hair may look this way, or maybe it may look make it look shinier or whatever. But I curbed that spending a few years prior to me trying to quit my job and travel because I had subscription to Curlbox. Curlbox is a subscription service. It was $35 at the month, $35 a month at the time that I did it to get a box full of full size hair care products for Black women. And after 3 months, I canceled the subscription because I had so many hair care products. So I stopped buying hair care products for that. But so it wasn't the hair. I don't really wear makeup. The only thing y'all gonna get is the red lip for the most part. So it wasn't makeup for me. If you're coming into the live, make sure you hit that like button. I'm going over the first area for discussion today on figuring out where your money is going and how to save, which is the scavenger hunt. And it wasn't the kitchen like that because I, my brothers make fun of me because they be like, your kitchen is always empty. As much as I like to eat, I don't like having a whole bunch of extra food in the house that goes to waste. So it was my closets, plural, closets. I had a winter closet and a summer closet. Do not judge me. Okay, winter is I feel like the predominant season in Michigan, and I'm so glad I'm not in dealing with that with y'all right now. With dealing with snow and the ice or whatever, but winter closet, summer closet, and then not only did I have those two closets, but the home that I purchased, it was an older home and it had built-ins. It had these big dresser drawer built-ins. And I had those stuff. And old school built-ins are deep. All four of those drawers were stuffed with clothes. And then I had a dresser chest that had four drawers as well. So I knew that I don't need to buy no more clothes. But that in December, I would go through and purge stuff. And then in 2021, I got serious in making a list on things that I needed. Like if I knew I had an event coming up and I didn't have anything for it, I could only go shopping for that. So the purpose of the scavenger hunt, when you go around your house and figure out where the most of your money is going, it's because you don't need to spend any more money in that area, like at all. Once you figure out what you're missing, if you know you need something, let's say if it's not clothes for you, let's say if you are a baker, you go through all your ingredients, this is going to take some time. So once you go through all what's in your area, in your house, you'll know what you need for what you have coming up. So I think a lot of people just go shopping. I see a lot of memes of it's the outside is closed, but Amazon is open, my checkout and all this stuff. That's funny, but really it's not funny to just be spending money frivolously, right? Not having a plan for your money. So closets is where I was. Yes, Natalie. Um, I'm gonna show my comments on the screen in a second, but I realized, okay, not only am I going to get rid of things, but I'm not going to buy any more clothes. And that was for the year. And I was dead serious. The stuff I'm only traveling with a carry on right now. And before I left Michigan, I did not buy any new clothes for my travel. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I didn't buy any new clothes for my travel. I bought travel things that I needed. I bought a specific type of carry on bag for me, but clothes was not in that category because I did not need them and it was a waste of my money. And when I say I was buying clothes for vacations, I'm talking about, oh, okay, I want to have a new swimsuit with cover up, or I want these shoes to go with that. And my advice with shopping is, I'm seeing some people say shoes. I love a good dress, a good quality dress, and I'm like, I'm gonna find somewhere to wear it. I'm gonna buy it if it fit. Like finding quality dresses and stuff that fits me. I'm like, I'm buying it. I'm gonna wear it somewhere. Yeah, I had to stop that. So, where are your things? I'm seeing some comments come through about shoes. I'm not, it's 19 of y'all on here. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Where is it? So, where is that money going? Where in your house represents where all your money is going? Motown investors, Jackie, Deidre said shoes, Tanya saying jeans and sweaters, hair care, closets, beauty and skincare products, right? Hey Tasha, so where's your money going? And where can you say you're gonna reduce that? So a lot of people say they're gonna reduce their spending, but that's so generic, right? You may not need to reduce your spending in certain areas, but honestly, why are you buying things that you know you don't need? That's the question you have to answer yourself. Ask yourself and answer, because that buying random stuff on Amazon is keeping you away from achieving dreams. Honestly, that's literally it. Going to constantly, if it's creating memories, that's the thing. I don't buy things, I create memories. Okay, you keep creating them local memories and you ain't gonna leave Detroit. um, all right, so let me get back to um, my agenda here while I'm going on my rant. So Q&A, if you have any questions right now, drop them in. I'm going to go through and see who's watching on the live right now. Make sure if you are watching this and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hi, Deanna. Deanna and I used to work together, so I'm happy to see you on the live. Hey, Rochelle. Hey D. Hey Miss Lindy. Oh my goodness, I haven't heard that name in so long. How are you? People are saying shoes, jeans, and sweaters. Like they're answering my questions. Um, like I was saying this before from Jackie. Yes, Unsharon, we know you dress down, so I know you have. That's going to be the area. So if you are trying to hit a goal this year, let me know what that is. What are you saving for? Right, I'm going over what I saved for, which was to travel the world. What are you saving for? Is it a new laptop? Are you saving for a down payment for your house? A Peloton? What are you saving for? Let me know in the chat. So the first thing before you save, like people always say, I need to save more. But what's your goal? If you're just saving to save, you're not gonna do it, right? Having a goal of what you're saving for. I know I'm traveling the world, so it's easy for me to delay gratification in that moment because I'm trying to hit that overall goal. And I also knew how much I was saving towards. Now, during the like 4-part financial freedom series, but I do believe everyone should have an emergency fund. This is talking about saving for a life goal, like something that you really want to get to. Craft stuff. So all these areas you're naming, I'm sure this is the area in the house that's cluttered. It's time for you to get organized and make a list of things that you will need in the next couple months, not for the whole year, the next couple months for what you're working on. If you don't have anything you're working on in that particular area for crafts, I'm picking on you, Sandy. Don't buy nothing. You don't need to buy anything. Not I may need this. No, all that may need, and I bought it because it was on sale. I bought it because it was on clearance. Is literally holding you back for from hitting your goal. So yes, I am with you, Natalie. I eat out a lot. Brunch, happy hour was where I was going a lot, and I actually cut down on that too. And that wasn't the main area for me, but it was the clothes. And then I would say coming in second after I got over the hair care stuff was definitely eating out. But I had to limit on who I was saying yes to and doing things with to like get a handle on that. So to have security. So Sharon, make sure you are on tomorrow. This is going to apply today, so don't log off. But I'm saying I'm really going to go through that with talking about the B word that everybody hates, budgeting, and really breaking down how I say to have for emergencies and stuff like that. So let me know any questions like I've been saying because I want to know how I can help y'all besides going through my plan stuff. All right, so I'm gonna just get back to me on the screen. Okay, so automation is key. It's something that I had up for a second. And what I mean by this is your paychecks from your employer. Can you split your direct deposits to go into more than one account? That was key for me to save. You won't miss it. Now, I understand inflation is going on heavy right now. Even though I'm not in the US, it's going on around the world, but it's ooh, in America, it is insane. Listen, I was just in San Francisco with one of my friends, and she was going crazy for like 10 minutes about the cost of eggs. Now, I've been seeing the cost of eggs on social media, and my mom been talking about it, and I love eggs. I literally eat eggs every day. Well, when I was in America, I was. But listen, $12 what she was saying. She's in California, and then the cheapest one she found was $10. So she was going crazy. So I know you may be like, oh, I'm a miss. If I set my savings to automate for $25, I'm gonna miss it. Okay. I am gonna challenge you on that, and I'm gonna go more on that tomorrow. But automate your savings to at least put $25 a payday into your savings account. Now, if you don't have a savings account, it's time to open one up. And I'm saying savings account, not a checking account, because it's going to make sense for the next item on my list. But if you have an employer where you can't split direct deposits, you only can have one account for your direct deposit to go into, then you need to automate it yourself. There is no way of getting out of this. Even if it's old school and you are still getting a paper check from your employer, automation is still key. When that money hits your account, whether you're depositing it manually, you can have another account that you can have the money go to, that you can set up online and online banking or going into the bank and have it automatically set a certain amount to go to your savings account every month, right? So it's so important because you're not physically doing it, and you will eventually start realizing that, okay, that's automatically out of my check. I'm not even thinking about it. Now, if you do not have a salary job and you're like, I get paid hourly, my checks change week to week and month to month, I can't be doing that. Okay, literally $5 then. Putting on, you are going to start somewhere. So it's no excuses on this. You can save something. And if not, if you are like, no, you don't know my story, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I'm in survival mode, going back to step one, you shouldn't have had anything you looked for in your house then. You shouldn't have a closet full of clothes. You shouldn't have a bathroom full of stuff. If you're saying you're on survival mode, and I know about survival mode, I grew up on survival mode. And definitely paying off my debt before the age of 30 had me on survival mode. You wouldn't have anything to go in the house for because you'd be like, I don't got nothing. Everything is in here is bare because I'm living paycheck to paycheck. That means your room, your kids' rooms is not flooded with stuff. But I know that's not y'all story. So if you had an answer to number one, then you have an answer for number two. And I do be hard on people. If you know me, if I've worked with you, I haven't seen anyone on that I've coached, but if I coached you in the past, I'm like, I got an answer for every excuse. Come on, what you got? Because I got an answer for you. Um, so let's get on to um the next topic or the next point I have on saving. Once you figure out step one, scavenger hunt. Number two is automate the savings. And number three is to have no access to this. It's funny because I was talking to my friend Rochelle about this, and she was talking about a person who has their savings account set up or their checking account set up where they don't have access because they know they can't handle their money or spending. It's important once you go through the steps of figuring out like, okay, how you're going to save, how much to go to it, not to have access to it from a virtual standpoint, meaning that you don't have a debit card associated to this savings account. You don't have an ATM card to be able to pull money out. This is money that you're truly not going to touch. Um, excuse me. So hopefully that makes sense. So no access to it. And if you going back to the previous step, if you automate it and you are able to put the money in like from your employer to different accounts, I try to have my account set up in different institutions as a whole. So I cannot touch it even in like what I perceive as, oh, I need to hurry up and transfer money over. No, it's not even there for me to do that, to call the bank or anything. I have it in two different institutions. So that is something to consider. So let me know if this is making sense to you, if it's good, if it's hurting y'all like in church, say ouch in the comments. My pastor loves saying that. Like if y'all quiet and you can't laugh and you sitting there like, what do Pastor J be saying? You sitting there like you stuck, I don't know. He be saying all kind of stuff. But let me know in the comments if this is good, if it's making you say ouch, if it's making you think um, about some of the things that you're doing with your money. Thank you, Natalie. And if this is good, then you already know what I'm gonna say. Go ahead and share it. Encourage your people, encourage your friends and family in all seriousness, who are trying to improve their finances. Share my YouTube link with them, even if they can't join a live, to subscribe, because I will have a lot more money content coming. Saving to retire soon. Okay. Let me go back to so I was just saying Q&A, hit the like button as you're coming in. Thank you, Miss Lindy. So Roth IRA, this is the investing portion of it. So this is the investing portion of the saving, because saving and investing are two different things. I teach this to my high schoolers when I'm in the classroom, when I was in the classroom before I left. It's two different things. When you invest your money, there's a chance you may not see that money again, whether you invest in the stock market, cryptocurrency, whatever you invest in. The whole point of investing is you're taking a risk, right? I actually love Roth IRAs, and I'm gonna break down what that is in a second, because it's doing both at the same time. So take this off of here. I'm showing a comment. Anyway, okay. So that's going, so I can be back on screen full screen now. Roth IRA. Roth IRA is for retirement. Individual retirement account is what the IRA stands for. Now, I'm 36, and a lot of people my age or younger it's retirement's in the back of their mind, but it's like it's so far away. Like, why would I open a Roth IRA? I love Roth IRAs because I'm talking so fast. I'm trying to be cognizant of that, but Roth IRAs are great for any person who is earning money. Your 5-year-old, if you have a business and you employ your 5-year-old, that you can open up a Roth IRA for them. If any person has earning wages, they can open a Roth IRA. You can open up a Roth IRA online from financial institutions like Fidelity, Charles Schwab's. Certain banks do have you open up. Bank of America, you can open up a Roth IRA with them. But The point of a Roth IRA is to put money in and you pick a fund to have your money invest to go to. So these are stock funds. So stocks, if you are fuzzy with investing, let me know because they'll let me know um, where I need to go with how explaining this. If I need to go deep or if I need to keep it high level. But I'm talking about Roth IRAs and investing right now. So don't get nervous if you don't like hearing these words or you feel like it's so far out of reach. I'm gonna get to questions on specific things in a moment. But I love Roth IRAs because I can pull money out anytime. And this is only for contributions that I've made. So this is why I love it because it's investing and saving for me at the same time. And the earnings that I'm getting on my investments are going tax free. So when I retire, I can take out those earnings tax free. There's also ways I can take it out tax free before I turn 59 and a half. I can take it out if I want to buy my first house for qualified education expenses, medical expenses. So it's a good emergency savings fund because there are different things you can take it out your actual earnings out of for different reasons. So let me back up. So you open up your Roth IRA. You can actually set it up to have the money pulled directly from your account, automated. I love automation. And have the money go in there. So it's when you think about it, first thing is going to go into a regular money market fund, which is like a checking account. You have to figure out where you want that money to go and how you want to invest it in funds. Funds meaning index funds or mutual funds, which is basically a bunch of companies that you're investing in. So stocks is having ownership in a company. So if you love Apple, if you love Google, and you know, even if you don't love them, but you like they making all this money, Amazon, they making all this money, you could be making some money off of them too if you invest in the stock market, right? So IRAs typically do not let you pick individual stocks to buy, but you're buying in a fund, meaning that if you think technology is the greatest thing ever, it's always going to go up, and there's always investments in it, and I want to hedge my bets on that. Okay, you can pick emerging technology index fund, and it's all these companies. It's Apple and Google is in there, and that you're investing in. You're having a piece of all these different companies that you're investing in. If they grow, your money grows. So let's say you do this. The max, there is a max contribution that you can make. You can only, I think, contribute 6,000 a year. Listen, I have a lot of different limits to remember in my head, so I always just Google it. But I think it's $6,000 you can contribute max a year. So every year, I didn't start investing into a Roth IRA until 2016 or 2017. It was after I paid off all my debt. And this is just continued to grow. So this is a part of my saving strategy. So I do have on top of my actual savings account that I save for my money, this is my backup emergency to pull from. So 6,000 a year, let's just say I did it for 6 years, I maxed it out. That's $36,000 that I have that I put into. The stock market is going crazy up and down, but it went really well during COVID. That means that 36,000 that I put in definitely turned into 50,000. I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't have my statements up, and I keep my money private anyway because I do not. This is a random rant. I don't understand people who share the actual numbers. I be concerned, like people who meet me gonna know how much money I have. Then people can be begging for money. I'm like, I'm just gonna use these random numbers. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So that 36,000 grows to 50,000 without me doing anything. Just putting it, automating it every month. This is Roth IRAs. So you may be thinking, well, how can I pull? Why would I put that in there if I can't take it out? All that money I contributed, I can take out at any time. And I'm going because I like to show receipts and stuff changes all the time. Um, so I want to share what I have from, see if I have the tab up. Let's see. So this is about Roth IRA. This is from Charles Schwab. This is from a reputable institution, not some random thing on the internet. And this breaks over this breaks down how Roth IRAs work, and you can withdraw your contributions you made to your Roth IRA anytime, tax and penalty free. So right now, if next year, well, let me say next year. Right now, I'm over budget. If I'm like, you know what, I can just pull from my Roth IRA once I get to June, and let me back up again. Over budget, meaning that at the rate I'm going right now, I would need to get a job in April. The rate I'm going right now because of me overspending in certain categories in my budget, not the end of the world. But if I'm like, I don't want to get a job, I can pull from my Roth IRA all the contributions. Let's just say the $36,000 that I put into it. I can take all of that out anytime, tax and penalty free. But guess what? That gap to the 50,000, that difference between 50,000 and $36,000, that $14,000, that sits in there. And I can't take that out unless I want to pay a penalty. But guess what? That's easy money that I earn on my investing, right? So this is why I love Roth IRAs so much because it does both. And you can do this you can do this for your kids if they have a job. Even and if self-employed people on watching right now, if you know people who have children and if they work in their business, and I say work, I mean they actually are paying them a real paycheck, not just giving them $20 under the table. You can't put that in there. It has to be some record of it. They can pull I mean check. I think they can pull the earnings out. Yeah, they can pull all of it out if they want to when it's time for them to go to college. So a lot of people talk about like the buzzwords of black wealth and all this other stuff. This is a tool that a lot of people use, but just the common person just think Roth IRA, I'm not going to use it. Thank you, Lavonda. I'm like, I know. I'm like, what's the numbers? Because I'll be like, with the 401k and different stuff, I'll be like, it changes all the time. So um, I'm gonna stop right here for questions. Need to be able to travel for a year, 60,000, 75,000. It depends on, I'm just going to say it depends, right? So if you set a budget, if you go on Airbnb right now, I can guarantee you your housing is going to be the most expensive, right? You may not want to travel the world. You may want to travel the USA. Guess what? House it. When I come back to the US, I'm going to house it. I'm not going to have to pay living accommodations. That's going to be free. So that $1,500 is gone from my budget. So you see why I say like it depends on how you want to set it up. Your housing is going to be the most expensive. So if you can figure out how to get cheap housing, maybe you want to have hostels. Maybe you don't mind having an Airbnb and split, but you have to go on and see your numbers for yourself, right? So I have seen all the time people say they only save 30,000. I've seen people say they saved 38,000. They've saved 12,000 because they were like they were going to quit their job for like 2 months and then work remotely. I am not working remotely. The only thing I'm doing is working on like strategy and growth in my businesses, but I'm not taking any cuts from my real estate or my financial education business right now. Not taking anything. I literally just didn't want to do work for the last 7.5 months. Now that I'm over budget, I ain't gonna lie, I'm inspired. But all jokes aside, I knew that January was gonna be my focus time. The winter for me is focus. I don't, even though I'm in somewhere that's really sunny, I'm gonna talk about where I am at the end of the live and give y'all an update on that. I like when the days are short, I get focused. I don't really want to do anything. So, with all that being said, I knew January was going to be go time for me because if I really wanted to keep doing this, then I knew I was going to have money coming in by June. So, Judy, I hope that answers your question. It depends on how you want to structure your budget for going. So, 30,000 could be it, 24,000 could be it. If you're staying in the US, trustedhousesitters.com is where I have my profile set up. And I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for house sitting to get motivated and encouraged to do it. Just how I had to do to travel the world. None of my friends are talking about quitting their job and travel the world. Everybody thought I was crazy. Nobody in my friend group is talking about house sitting, but I share different things with my friends to make it normalized for them as I'm learning for people that this is their norm. So it just depends on what how you structure it. Thank you, mom. Hey, cuz, how much you use to save for if you make $100,000 a year? What I suggest you save is just if you don't have any savings goals, and you make $100,000 a year, I've if you're like I'm good, I'm content with how my life is going. I'm good. I'm not really saving for anything. What a blessing. Then I'm gonna tell you to save to have your emergency fund for 6 months. That means 6 months of your living expenses. So that means before I left the US, like I had 6 months of my mortgage saved up, even though I wasn't even paying rent or mortgage because I own a multifamily and I was living there for free essentially. I still had that mortgage payment saved up for 6 months. I live in the Detroit area. That DTE bill, I had 6 months of that saved up. My water bill came out quarterly. I had 2 quarters of that saved up. So have 6 months of your living expenses saved up if you're not saving for anything in particular. So see what I'm saying? I don't like to just throw out random numbers because of how much a person makes. And I know some people do that. I think that's stupid because if you don't have a reason behind it, you're not going to do it. Like I'm not trying to say your question is stupid. I'm definitely not saying that. But I think that people just saying you need to save 20% of your income. Okay, well, what about investing? You could be investing 50%. It just depends on how your life is set up. So if you have specific questions for me and you're like, I do not want to put my business out here, and I'm at that point where I want to like get actual financial coaching, you can book a paid consultation with me. We can talk about it. I am back doing that again. My calendar is open. I put myself on the schedule for briefly right now to get back into this. And just a background there, if you're just joining, yes, I am a licensed CPA, but I did financial coaching 101 for years because I started in a classroom teaching the youngsters, and parents and teachers wanted me to help them with their finances. And I stopped just because I was too busy. And it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't even have time to do this business. I'm just so wore out from my 9 to 5. So that's why I'm glad I have the freedom now to be able to do this again because what I found was like I would be burnt out and I would once I got through a certain amount of sessions, I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. Or I started referring people who would ask me to coach them to other people. And they're like, no, I want to work with you. And I'm like, I cannot. And they're like, just tell me how much. And I'm like, there's at this point, it's buying my free time. And I don't have any more free time to give. Like I need to have a life, right? Levon, now is a great time to open up a Roth IRA. Yes, it is. Everything will only increase in time. And where to open it, Charles Schwab is one. I have mine through Vanguard and Fidelity for different reasons. Because I think Vanguard is it just a regular 3,000 to start? I think Vanguard is 3,000 to start. I can't remember. It's been a while. When I first opened my IRA, Roth IRA, I should say. But Fidelity, you can start with like nothing, I believe. So I have in both, and there's different funds available, different performances. And if this is all going over your head, maybe I need to add investing to another series. Um, but yes, now is a great time to open it. You can take out your contributions anytime. So that's why I was just sharing that from Charles Schwab, from a reputable source. Because if the law changes in 2 months and somebody watching replay, I don't want nobody in my comments like, what? That's why I was showing the Charles Schwab. So sorry, it's a plane where I'm at that's flying over. So give it a minute. It's really loud for me. But you can take out your contributions at any time, tax and penalty free. Now, you don't want to get into the habit of like, okay, I'm gonna take out something every month. Like, no, should really only be for emergencies if you take it out. You should have your emergency fund set up before you take it out of your Roth anyway. But let's just say you like, I heard about investing and saving at the same time. I'm just gonna put all my money there. Roth IRA is good for that. Hey, Mimi. Yes, thank you for coming with those numbers because I'm like, I can't Google this. Yes, thank you, Levon. 6,000 a year for people like me. And if you are over the age of 50, you can put 7,000 into your Roth IRA. Thank you, Natalie. Glad it's helpful. Fees. So you open it up online and you looking at the fee agreement, similar to like how you will look for when you open up a checking account. Like I shop around for checking accounts. Like I usually do credit unions. I have credit unions and then local bank and the big bank is where I keep my money. But I'm looking at the fees and how different things are structured from that. So if you're like, I just tell me where to start. I would suggest you start with Fidelity. I'm not sponsored by them yet, but we're gonna speak that to existence. These lives in a few months is gonna be sponsored by Fidelity, somebody. But I'm not getting paid for anything right now. I'm speaking from what I actually, from my research and where I open my accounts. I actually have it, even though I just showed Charles Schwab. I actually have it. I started at Fidelity and at Vanguard. So you go to the screen. I'm like, I may at the end, I may actually just take time and show y'all how to do it. If that would be helpful if we stay on, but I want to um, make sure that I'm getting through everyone's questions. You are welcome. And I'm gonna see you in Ghana, girl. Listen, we met in Santorini. That's what I love about traveling. Like you meet and you make real friends. Now, Ma, are you in this chat freelancing, giving out tips? I make fun of my mom because listen, when I am in Detroit and I do speaking engagements, my mama coming to me to all my speaking engagements because I wrote a children's book. So she in the back selling them children's books, push it by coaching sessions. So she my momager. Okay, you have Vanguard. Thanks, Rance. What up? What up? Okay. Change. It changed for this year. Okay. Y'all get y'all Googles on. Like I said, listen, something always change. And I'm not even on my last point yet, and we are almost at an hour. So hopefully y'all can stay on. If you really want to see how to open one, I will just share my screen. I'm not gonna actually open one because I already have stuff open, but just so you can see it and you can feel a little bit more comfortable with doing stuff like this. All right, so tax savings. Now, 401k. If you have an employer that has 401k, you should invest in it. Um, at least up until the max of their matching capabilities. So if your employer matches 4% of what you contribute, like dollar for dollar, at the very minimum, contribute that. So what that means is, let's say you $1,000, 4% of your salary. Let's say you 4% of your salary is $1,000. They're going to give you $1,000 for the year. They're going to match you dollar for dollar up until that point. Now, let's say you decide I want to contribute 2,000 a year. If 2,000 is 4% of your salary, then anything over that 1,000, they're not going to match you, but you're still investing in. I think everyone, even if your employer sponsor plan doesn't have the best option for index funds or whatever, again, which is like a mix of companies together in layman's terms, you should at least invest up into um their matching capability. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting tongue tied right now. Because if not, you're leaving money on the table. Like that's a part of your compensation package, right? So I'm not leaving no money on the table. So I'm going to at least put in my 401k how much they're going to match me. But a part of my savings plan, I already told y'all, if you just jumping in, hit that like button and subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I already went through one scavenger hunt. Two was automating my savings, having it come directly out of from my employer when I was still working, or coming from my checking account if I can't split my direct deposits. Number three was having no access to that. Number four was Roth IRA. And if you stay on after this last point, I'm gonna show you how to open up a Roth IRA, like not opening it one, but just the steps. And number five is 401k, tax savings. So I maxed out the Roth starting, I think in 2017. Roth IRA, for when I knew I was quitting, I started doing some tax planning with myself. So I was a high earner. I'm gonna just tell you, I was making six figures. Um, and I wanted to pay less in taxes. And once I hit that six-figure mark, I was like, I don't want to pay. I'm a single woman with no kids. I do not want to be paying all this in taxes. So I put on my CPA hat and I was like, let me get back into like proper tax planning. Now, one thing is 401k. If you the max, Rance or Lavonda drop in the max for 2023. I think it was 2020, 22,000 when I did it for last year. So I contributed the max to my 401k. Even though I knew I was quitting in June, I contributed the max to my 401k. This reduces my taxable income, right? So when you are in a high tax bracket, you should be looking for ways to reduce your taxable income. It also benefits you if you are not over in the six-figure range too. It helps anyone who wants to invest and have some tax savings. It's a good way. It's a good strategy. Aside from that piece of it, um, you can not do how you do with the Roth IRA. You cannot take from the 401k um, anything that you contribute. It doesn't work like that. You can only take you can take out a loan from your 401k if you are still employed with that employer, but you can take out for buying your first home, and you can take out for if you become disabled for whatever reason, financial hardship. I'm just going to say financial hardship. That is a bucket where you talking about wait, did I just get lost? Okay. Thank you, Rance. Um Rance is a financial advisor, so he knows these numbers. I'm like, I'm going back and forth with this. So Rance is former coworker turned friend who is in the financial space as well as me. So thank you for being on, Rance. I appreciate it and helping me out with these random numbers I'm trying to talk about that I'm having brain fog on. But 401k was how this was like another backup to the backup. So when I told y'all I quit my job, it is like a lot of thought went into this. And this is not even talking about other streams of income, but I'm just telling y'all my savings plan. So aside from the cash savings that I had for what I need to know, what I need to have for my lodging and all of that, my backup is my Roth. And 401k, I do not work in my employer anymore. You can roll it over to an IRA. You can then roll it over from the IRA to a Roth IRA. There's other things you can do with that 401k money. But if you are, let's say let's say your plan is not to travel. You like, I have no interest in traveling the world, and you're going to stay at your employer. You just want to improve your savings. You can use 401k a lot in a lot of different ways when you stay with your employer. Okay. So that is the last bit of information that I have right now for my scheduled agenda. If you want to stay on, I will show you the Roth IRA. But first, hold on. I got to get up and plug in my charger because it's not in there. So okay, it's not plugged in, so I'm gonna stay on to my battery died. So we are over all my stuff right now. So before I get into sharing my screen and all that stuff, I am currently in Thailand right now. I've been in Thailand for a few days. If you joined the live late, it's morning for me. I got on my workout attire underneath this. So Rochelle, if you still on, I'm hitting my workout goal for the week because she been on my head about that. Um, and I've been in Thailand for, like I said, for a few days. So I'm ahead of y'all. I'm getting adjusted to it. And I said all that to say, I cannot plug in my laptop charger into the outlet like I would in America. In the US, I have to use the adapter. in this plug and this Airbnb, the adapter is not liking how it is like hanging off. So it may die off. If I just drop off, it's because my laptop went dead. All right. So thank you for watching, Rachel. She was on here sharing my stuff. So make sure y'all tune in the rest of the week. And if you got a lot of information, share my channel. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by April 1st. So help me do that. All right. So let me go to Fidelity. And then let me share my screen. All right, don't be taking forever to open up. So on Fidelity, like I was saying, I was going to show y'all in this example. There's a lot going on here. So I know when I mention these things, you were like, okay, I'm motivated on the live, and you get here, you're like, what? Where do I go? Where do I start? So you can go to products, you can go to retirement and IRAs. There's so much on here, y'all. So much. We go to retirement and IRAs. So this is where you have your three options for IRA. Individual retirement fund. Do. No account fees or minimums to open up most retirement accounts. And I think this is where I was saying like the difference between Fidelity, I mean, not between Vanguard, which is why I have both. I think that's why I have both two different uh, fund providers. Roth IRA, it grows tax free. Traditional IRA, tax deferred. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about rollover IRA. Not in today's live. If I do talk about that, I'm gonna bring Rance on with me to talk about all that stuff. Now, click open up account. So open up a Roth IRA. I may go back to hit on learn more because this is actually just gonna. I'm just gonna do no, and it'll tell you what you need to do to open up an account. But I'm just showing this so you guys can be not so apprehensive about it. Just what you have to enter. You have to have your social, all this stuff like you would for opening up an account. So I'm gonna go back to see what learnings you can do before you open up your account. That would be more helpful. But at least you know where to go. And it's different on every institution you go to their website on where to go to start. So learn more. I think they showed the funds at somewhere. I think. It tells you about the tax benefits and the I don't know about Go Roth IRA. I just have the regular Roth IRA. I'm trying to see if it shows you the funds. Of course, when you do something on a whim, you can't find what you need. This was not a part of my me doing this was not a part of my original plan. So let's see if I can find some information for y'all. No, it doesn't show the funds. I thought it did show you the funds that you can pick from, but it's not. So I'm just gonna stop sharing. But at the very minimum, you know where to go what you're looking for it. And what's the minimum to start? On Fidelity, there's no minimum. Vanguard, it may be a 3,000, like I said before. I'm not sure about Vanguard, but we're going to talk about Fidelity. I'm only going to bring up the two that I actually have my Roth IRA in. Now I have other stuff. I have investment with other institutions, but for Roth IRA, I just have those two. So you can start with anything. And since you're over 50, mom, you can put 7,000 in there today, according to Rand. So if it's wrong, y'all yell at Rand. Don't yell at me. Thank you, Fran. This is my friendager. She be on every live sharing all my stuff. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who's watching. I don't have anything else. I tried to show y'all how to open up the open up the Roth IRA. I was trying to show y'all funds, but it's not showing right now. So if you have any more questions about random travel, if you're watching the replay, leave Tasha.com. You can see if you want to work with me one-on-one. We can do a discovery call and see if I'm right for you to do coaching. And my bad. You're welcome, everybody. And until next time, not next time. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. All right, see y'all. Bye.